Tell me about your tour guiding and how that got started and how you feel about it.
Well, when I retired from television, I got a backpack and I bought a ticket to Bali, Indonesia. And I was gone for 5.5 months, traveling all around the world by myself. It certainly triggered a curiosity, self-reliance, independence, self-confidence, and when I came back, I decided, gee, I'd like to do this for a living. So I went to a school called International Tour Management Institute in California, where I trained to become a licensed, certified tour guide. So I became licensed and certified, and then what do I do with it? So I started applying to all of these tour companies to lead tours. And the only people who were hiring were people who were doing student tours. And that's when I went to Disney World with a group, went to California with a group, and they gave me a lot of people who were coming to New York, and they had what was known as step-on guides, people who just did New York City, and I thought, well, gee, isn't that something? I started taking notes, and I took the test to become a New York City licensed guide, because you can't get on a bus, you can't do a walking tour, you have to have a guide's license.
What year was this about?
90 maybe. I retired in 90, got a backpack, went to Southeast Asia, came back. So it was maybe 98, 99.
Right, because before that you were traveling with Lloyd all over.
Correct, yeah.
And where did you guys go?
He was kind of like, well, I was married, and of course I was in love with my husband for a time, but Lloyd was really the love of my life. He had so much respect and affection for me. He valued everything that I said. He thought I was the smartest person in the world. We must have made 35 6-week trips together.
Wow.
All over the world. We hiked, we biked, we camped, we went on canoe trips, we did sailing trips. You name the mode of transportation and we did it. And we were always compatible. It was so much fun.
Just tell me some of the places you went.
With Lloyd, we went all through the Caribbean. We did all of the Baja.
Wow.
We drove out to Alaska and did all of that. He had a camper that he converted into a rolling room so that we could sleep in this camper. And we could eat in the camper and dress in the camper. At that time, we were both big windsurfers. So we kept the windsurfing equipment in the back of the truck. And we'd get out and we would go windsurfing. It was fun. Really great. But that's when I decided that I really needed to become a tour guide. And
what happened with Lloyd?
The carpet ran out. It just ran its course after a while. He just dwindled away. It was never a breakup. It was never any great closure. It went on for 10 years, so I can't complain about that. And he became pretty eccentric, and it ran its course, and it was great at the time. So it was really nice. That was the one time in my life that I really felt love from a man. Other than that, it's kind of a disappointment to go through life and not have that experience. Can't have everything. It's just the way it is. But back to my tour guiding. I did so many tours in New York City. I hooked up with some companies that were nice enough to give me business. And I became a step-on guide, which meant I did a 4-hour trip or an 8-hour trip. Initially, I did some tours where I would stay with the group overnight in New Jersey, but I kind of ran through that.
All right. Your name's Becky Hoffman, my mother. What would you like us to know about you?
I'm just so damn glad to be alive. To me, I want more and more and more. I'm not ready to cash in. I want to see that my children stay married for 50 years, that my grandchildren all get educated, and they have good jobs or way of making a living or doing whatever it is that they want to do. Let me see, what else do I want to say? I'd like to say that sitting here right now is really cool. I love not having any aches or pains in my body. Any day you don't have an ache or pain, how dare you? How dare you?
Camera.
Bitch, moan, or complain. It's not worth it.
Alright, when were you born? What year?
I was born on May 4, 1941 at 7:11 a.m. and I weighed 7 pounds 11 ounces. Therefore, those are the lucky numbers. I've had a lucky life and I continue to have a lucky life.
What was going on in the world when you were born? And how did that affect your
I don't
parents?
know. I'd have to get a newspaper to find out.
Oh.
I think it was probably the end of the war.
And you were close to your parents and your family and everything.
Couldn't have been any closer. They told me I was wonderful and terrific and I could do anything I wanted to do. And I didn't have to be like my sisters. They told me that there are all kinds of ways of being smart. And you don't have to be smart in 7 different things. If you find something you like, that's cool. If you don't, that's okay too.
Who was your
Actually,
first boyfriend?
Oh, my first boyfriend was John Robinson. He was the cutest little thing. His father was principal of the military school. He would ride his bicycle over and he'd sit on the front steps and oh, my heart throbbed. He was so cute.
How old were you?
Maybe high school.
John Robinson?
No, not high school because...
Wait, I thought it was John Fairchild.
John Robinson. See, I've been holding out on you.
Oh my God, he went before John Fairchild?
Uh-huh. Well, John Fairchild was like a real boyfriend. You know, we stayed on the phone by the hour. We went to Sage Park and parked and scraunched.
What does scraunch mean?
Shared affection.
Scraunched? Is that like making out?
Yeah. Everybody in my day would know that word, would know that term.
Oh, okay. So you scraunched with Fairchild.
A lot.
And then you went off to,
nothing inappropriate.
and then you went off to college.
I went to college and he went his way and got married and had a child and I went my way and got an education.
Did you ever think of marrying him?
No. I mean, it just never came up. We lost track of each other.
Yeah. But you might rekindle one day, you never know.
We rekindled at one point when I was separated from your dad. It was a hot weekend.
Oh, really?
It was the first time we ever culminated anything
Oh my God.
major.
Was it everything you expected?
More so. It was more so. I hadn't had the best experiences before that. So.
Okay. But at least they led to me and Scott.
For that, I wouldn't trade anything in the world. And you did get your father's brains because he's a smart guy.
I think you're pretty smart too.
Well, but I'm not.
You have common sense though.
I do have common sense.
And a good sense of direction.
Incredible sense of direction.
So,
abnormally good sense of direction.
let's talk about your travels. I mean, is there a country or a place you haven't been that you would like to explore?
Frankly, I just would have to look at the map. I'd like to go to Madagascar and see some of the animals. In '90, when I got a little backpack, we didn't have backpacks, we didn't have rollerboards. I carried 2 little small suitcases. They weren't suitcases, they were like grocery bags. And I went to Southeast Asia. Faxing had just come out in 1990. So I would fax the next hotel to see if I could stay there and wait 2 days for the answer to come back. Then I'd have to get in a tuk-tuk or some kind of transportation to go to the city center to stand in line to use the telephone. And I would call Mother and Daddy. Of course, the time frame, I had to work it out. And I would call them and then they would relay the message to everybody else.
How long were you gone?
5.5 months.
My God. By yourself?
By myself.
How old were you?
Well, I had retired from WXIA, so
I think
I think Scott was a freshman in college, maybe.
Like 51? About my age.
Yes, that's right.
Were you ever nervous?
Never. Nervous, no.
And you had no idea exactly where you were going? You just kind of started somewhere?
Correct. I kind of had a vague itinerary. I knew I was going to the other side of the globe.
So where'd you fly into?
I flew into Bali, Indonesia. Well, no, the first 6 days I was with a small group of 5 people. And that got me started.
In Bali?
In Bali. And then I became very good friends with this lady who was a dancer with the Royal Ballet. She was older than me and she traveled for years. She let us know that she did change her clothes, but she wore the same thing every day. Beige pants, white shirt. That was her uniform. And when she heard I was going off on my own, she was so nervous because she thought I was naive and that someone would take advantage of me. But I didn't let that happen. I did meet a guy in Bali, actually, who was crazy about me. He was cute as a button. He was, but the last thing Scott said to me before I was getting on the plane, he says, "Mom, hey, you know how you're always telling me to beware of myself and to not come on to girls." He says, "I'm telling you, no sex."
What?
No sex. And I kept hearing that little voice of my son saying, "Mom, no sex." Because this guy was cute, and I kept wondering, when's he going to hit on me? When's he going to... I mean, he's like all over me, talking to me, waiting for me, eating with me. This went on for about 4 days. Then I went away to Rajaland. I came back, and he'd moved his room right next door to mine. And I thought,
was he American?
He was American. He was an expat.
Okay.
And
about your age?
I guess so. I don't know. He was a windsurfer, and that was kind of cool. So we were out one night. Actually, I had just thrown up in the dirt. I can't remember why. But
oh my God.
He just sat there and waited for me. And he said, "Are you done?" "Okay, let's go." He was really cool. And he said to me, "Have you wondered why I haven't hit on you?" And I said, "Oh, no. I said, I hadn't thought about that. Lie. He said, "You're just too nice a girl." He said, "I couldn't take advantage of you." He said, "And I have to tell you, I have the HIV virus."
Oh my God.
Scott, of course no sex.
Oh, jeez. Wow. What a story.
And he just said, I couldn't do that to you.
Are you listening to this one? Oh my God.
All the American men go to Thailand. The kind of loser men, or the men who can't make it, and they pick up Thai women. They send their young, beautiful women down to be nice to the American men because they get money.
So then where did you go after that?
I went to Singapore, and I stayed with one of Roy's friends, as a matter of fact. And then I went up through Malaysia, Thailand.
Were there enough English-speaking people? Or?
I don't remember that ever being a problem.
And you just had one backpack?
They weren't backpacks, they were like little carry-alls.
Yeah.
You know, like little, what do you call them? Just little
Did they have a roller?
They didn't have rollers in the 90s.
They didn't?
Nope.
Really cool.
So you did have to put it on your back?
I just made it.
No. I just put them on my shoulder. Shoot. Carry it in my hand. That's why I didn't carry much. But these were hot places, so you didn't need many clothes. You know, you didn't need a whole bunch.
Wow.
I did carry a jump rope. I was jumping rope vigorously in those days.
I remember.
I'd get up in the morning and I'd jump rope, baby.
Wow. Did you ever get lonely, or you just met people?
No, I learned to really like being by myself. At night, I couldn't wait to get, because I didn't look at the pictures and I'd read where I had been. And
That's so courageous, Mom.
They never, I wouldn't call it that.
I would. I mean, you were like, I'm free. I'm a free spirit. I'm going to go see the world.
Well, there are an awful lot of Canadians.
And you know what? Hold on. I remember Grammy and Granddad calling me to tell me where you were. Where was I? I don't know where I was. I do remember when email came out, you would email long things of your trip. That was cool. Okay, so 5 months. You went all over. And then when did you decide, okay, I've had it?
Well, I ran out of money and my ticket. So I had taken $8,000.
Uh-huh. How'd you carry it?
I carried it in a little, one of those pouches, and I put it in the small of my back.
Was it
and then I tied it around.
American money or?
Yeah, traveler's checks.
Wow.
$8,000 in traveler's checks. And then I'd change the money and then I would use it. So.
But for 5 months, you got, the food was pretty reasonable.
I was gone in May and came back in September.
Oh my God.
Maybe it wasn't quite 5.5 months.
So then you came back, and then what was going on when you came back? How was Grammy at that time? Okay.
Oh, they were great. Oh, it was great. We went out on Cheryl and Charlie's boat for a very long weekend. And Daddy said, pick your 50 best pictures and you can give us a talk. So I picked out my 50 best pictures. They were very attentive, and that was the end of my telling them about my travels.
Cool. Okay, so then that was the early 90s. So then what were you doing?
Then I went to the travel school, and I became a licensed certified
Right.
tour guide.
And when did you meet Lloyd?
I met Lloyd right before I went away for 5.5 months.
Oh.
He had answered some dopey thing I had done a story on. They were just beginning to match people. There was an article in the paper about a travel companion, and I don't know, somehow he got my name and he called me. He had come to Atlanta to interview with some big company and asked me to meet him and would I show him around. I said, well, I don't do that. You know, I'm not, who are you? So I just met him at a bar for a drink. As soon as I walked up, I thought, well, I'm not unattracted to him. And that was like a phenomenal for me, because I was unattracted to 99% of the people that I ever met. So we went and we had Thai food. That was my big mistake. We went Dutch. I said, oh, no, we'll go Dutch. We went Dutch the rest for 10 years. We went Dutch.
What, you think if you let him pay, he would have paid?
It might have changed things, but whatever. So then, he wanted to go, it was about a few minutes till 11. We were around the corner from the newsroom. I said, you want to see how a newsroom works? And he said, well, yeah.